So hopefully it won't take you too long to get through our next instruction. Tomorrow must be then the quiz. Actually, let me double check this for you guys. Oh no, you don't have instruction today. It's even better. Tomorrow we'll go over the instruction. So tomorrow we'll go over instruction. Thursday will be the assignment, and then Wednesday will be the quiz, and then we go on break. So that kind of worked out really nicely in regards to the rest of this week. Next week, spring break. So if you're behind, get caught up on anything, because the next few weeks will be a lot going on, and then throw in possible SBAC testing. I was supposed to have a meeting for that today. They canceled it. So it makes me wonder, maybe we won't have SBAC for the state this year. I don't know. I don't know what this means, but it was canceled for everybody. So my fingers are crossed. You guys won't have to worry about that if you're a junior. All right, so let's rock and roll. Again, the first one, notation. So this is saying, see how they're indented? So this is telling you this is the matrix. If it said to evaluate something like this, if it said evaluate, and it gave you this, -3, 6, 1, -6, then that notation right there would be telling you, hey, find the determinant. Although it doesn't say it in words, this notation when they're straight up and down, that's telling you to evaluate the determinant. So how do I do the determinant? Remember, it has to be a square matrix, has to be square to find the determinant. And then I multiply for a 2 by 2, I multiply my diagonal. So this is going to be -3 times a -6 minus, and then I multiply my other diagonal, 1 times 6, and I end up with, oh, actually, I don't even need to solve it all the way. They want you to just match it up. So here you go right here. If I wanted to solve it, it would be 18 minus 6, and you would end up with your value of 12 for your determinant. So again, they want you to set it up. Some of the problems are going to be like this, again, because you can use your calculator. So they don't want you to use it for everything. Some of them, they're like, hey, use it, they don't care. But this one, they actually want to know that you know how it should be set up, not just plugging into the calculator. So they do that for, this is type of example. Also that 3 by 3 we did yesterday where they used the alphabet. So then you had to actually know how to do it. You couldn't plug that in to evaluate it to the calculator. Okay, for the next one, it says, what is the determinant of the coefficient matrix? So remember, coefficient matrix is just going to focus on the coefficients of X, Y, and Z. If it has the solution, they call that the augmented matrix. So we're looking for the determinant of -1, -1, -1, -1, -1, -1, 3, 2, and 1. So it's a 3 by 3. I could go ahead and I could choose to plug this into the calculator. And we'll do that just for some practice here. So let's go ahead and pull up that calculator. Here's the calculator. I have a 3 by 3. So I'm going to plug them in, and I have -1, -1, -1, -1, -1, -1, 3, 2, and 1. And then I could go ahead and I want to find the determinant, and it's a value of 0. So this is just equal to 0. But guess what? I didn't even need to plug this one in. Why? Because if I have 2 rows that are equal, if 2 rows are equal, then it's automatically going to be a value of 0. So if the 2 rows are equal, automatically going to be a value of 0. And we did see that yesterday. We had a 2 by 2 that happened. So it's always going to be the case. I had a list of facts on that first day for the instruction, and this was one of them, that if 2 rows are equal, then the determinant's always going to be a value of 0. My next one, it says, what is the determinant of the identity matrix? So this is it doesn't say, hey, well, what identity matrix? Because remember, we have a 2 by 2, a 3 by 3, a 4 by 4, and so on. So it doesn't tell you, and maybe you don't know offhand, so pick one, because it's always going to be the same. So obviously the easiest to work with is a 2 by 2. So if I look at the identity of a 2 by 2, remember the identity, starting like we would with our determinant, where we're always starting at that. I'm always looking at that top left. So top left would be a 1, and then I have to have my diagonals of 1. So remember, when we talk about the identity, it has the diagonal of 1, then everything else above and below that diagonal are my zeros. So this would be a 0, and this would be a 0. So if I wanted to find the determinant of this, easy with a 2 by 2. I could have done a 3 by 3, I could plug it into my calculator. Oh, let me pull this down. So I could totally plug that into the calculator if I want to, but this is easy. So this is going to be 1 times 1 minus, this is just a 0 times a 0. So it's just going to give me a value of 1. So my determinant here is just going to be a value of 1. Again, if you did that with a 3 by 3, you would end up with the same thing. 4 by 4, 5 by 5, so on. All righty. Any questions? Any questions? And then our last type of problems are those area problems. So this one, the past few that we've seen, they were on the graph. It was like a triangle that we were given the graph for. In this case, it just gave you the vertices. Same idea. What I would do is I would list each of my points here. So these are my X, my Y values. And remember, my last column is just going to be 1 all the way down. So this is -2, -1, and then it's going to be a 1. My next point is a 4, -1, and then 1, and then 6, 5, and then my value of 1. Always ones right here when we do this. It asks for the area, asks for the area of the triangle. So we're going to use area is equal to, and it's a plus or minus 1/2 of our determinant. So it depends what that determinant is. If the determinant is negative, then we would use this negative. We want it so that we always end up with a positive value. So let's figure out, what is this determinant? It's a 3 by 3. I don't want to figure it out by hand. So I go, oh, here's my handy dandy calculator. And I plug in the values. So I have -2. And just so you know, I tab each time, like it's easy to tab over to get to your next value. So then I have a 4. And then that's going to stay -1. I have a 1, 6, 5, and then my 1. And so now I want to figure out what is the determinant of that. And I can see that it's a value of 36. So the determinant here is 36. So my area is going to be 1/2 of 36, which is going to give me 18 square units. 18 square units. Oh. And there's my 18 square units. And I'm done. That's all I got for you guys today. I think if you guys have been following along with this lesson, I think you guys would do well. We keep seeing the same types of problems. I think these are the most difficult. So it's just a matter of, you know how to set those up and you know your equation, you're going to be good to go. So have your calculator ready if you want to use it. I recommend it. I mean, they have it there for you. And then make sure, again, you know your formulas. If you need anything, make sure you reach out. Before I let you guys go, do I have any questions? All righty, well then I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. You're welcome. Bye.